So for those of you that don't know, I actually used to make review videos and prediction videos when I first started making Dragon Ball videos, so I thought I would get into it recently just because I've really been enjoying this arc, and I kind of wish I did this for like the Merging Master, the Future Trunks arc of course, and I just didn't really do it because I'm kind of focusing on Dokkan a bit more, but now I like to, you know, switch it up a bit. And of course, if you guys do enjoy today's video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. If you want to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comment section obviously, and if they do well, carry on doing them. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below about this episode, and shout out to Herms for all the translations. Like, great guy. I've been following him since like the start of Dragon Ball Super, and obviously Giedam shouts him out a lot, so yeah, definitely go ahead and check those guys out. I would imagine that the majority of you know who Giedam is, and D3 does these reviews as well, but enough of that. Let's go ahead and just get straight into my thoughts of the episode, and of course I will be going over just the important points because I don't want to like give a synopsis of what happened in the entire episode, obviously like every single detail, but I will be, you know, pointing out the bigger things. But basically the first half of the episode is Goku, you know, explaining to the guys how Frieza should be the 10th member, and then of course he goes to Yama, and then we also have a scene where Carly transforms into Broly essentially. So I'm going to go over some of the translations again. Shout out to Herms as always. So basically Vegeta thinks Goku wants to use the Dragon Balls to revive Frieza, but instead Goku wants to have Barba return him for a day, which was pretty much like guessed. You know, it's pretty obvious that they weren't going to you know, revive him with the Dragon Balls. Goku's sure that Frieza will join their team if the alternative universe is being destroyed. Vegeta thinks they don't need Frieza's help to win. Goku asks Whis for their odds, and Whis isn't sure because there are some specific fighters in different universes that are on par with, you know, the Gods of Destruction, and there are some Gods of Destruction that are even stronger than Beerus, and those particular, you know, fighters are on par with those gods. So there are potentially fighters that are stronger than Beerus, which is absolutely insane, and considering that they aren't Gods of Destruction, it kind of... So it basically says a bit about what type of opponents they could be facing in a tournament, and, you know, in terms of strength, obviously, Goku says that if when Vegeta betrays them, he and Vegeta can just beat him easily, because I would imagine at this point they are, like, 1,000 times, okay, not 1,000 times, but extremely stronger than they were in Resurrection F. Goku struggles with how to explain the situation to King Yama, of course, and apparently Yama actually heard rumours, from different universes. Goku states his desire to have Barba resurrect Frieza for the tournament. Yama agrees, but he won't be held responsible for anything that Frieza does. Carly still isn't sure that she can turn into a Super Saiyan, and obviously we did see that in the preview and in the previous episode where she was a bit reluctant to actually go ahead and try it. Caulifla continues to convince her. Caulifla and Carly show off the Super Saiyan transformation for Carly. She decides to give it a shot, and it didn't really work out too well. I was like, this really hyped up music in the background and everything, and then it's just like, no, it's freaking dead. So the thing that actually sets her off is kind of interesting, and it's essentially the motive that she has for transforming, and I will say straight away that's much better than Broly's hateful Goku, like making him cry as a baby. I know some people don't exactly like it, but I think it's an interesting take on it, and hopefully we will be able to see what direction they take this in, because this is just the first time seeing her, and honestly, I feel like it's already a massive improvement over Broly. She does have similar moves, admittedly, but like, I mean, it's essentially, they are just essentially trying to make Carly Broly, but just a much better Broly with like an actual personality and talks, because she does talk, obviously. And if you've seen the episode, you know that. But I'm just curious to see what direction they go in. Is she just going to listen to Caulifla? Because obviously I will go over why she would listen to Caulifla. I think pretty much everyone knows at this point that Carly is Caulifla's underling. Obviously, she is still a strong fighter, I would imagine, because, again, she is Caulifla's underling. But the interesting thing to me is how they actually have a very interesting relationship. Maybe Caulifla just knows. It's just one of these things where, like, Carly is attracted to her in some ways. That sounds, I know. If you haven't seen the episode, you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, obviously. So basically, to go on as to how the transformation progressed, Caulifla says, what did I explain it wrong? Carly just basically suggests that maybe she should go through a bit more thoroughly. Caulifla tries to insult Carly to get her angry. Carly gives it a shot as well, but to no avail, and Carly is upset at being a burden to Caulifla. But to be honest, I actually heard different things from multiple people. I have been fortunate enough to actually be friends with someone in Riku's Discord that was actually translating important points from this episode, of course, and apparently the thing that triggered Carly to transform was the fact that Carly said that Caulifla is his woman or something along those lines. So then Obviously, Carly transforms. Like, but keep in mind, this is just a rough translation. Obviously, when the official Crunchyroll subs come out, it's going to be a bit more accurate. But from what I can tell, it just has something to do with, you know, Carly either being a burden to Caulifla, or the fact that Carly is somewhat jealous that Kabe said that about Caulifla in a way. And to me, that makes more sense because of what is about to happen, of course. So Carly points at Kaba and says, "I'll finish you off first." So, like, to me, that just says that the other translation that I was talking about is right, because why would Kale say, "I'll finish you off," if, you know, Kabe didn't say something like "Caulifla is mine" or something along those lines? It makes no sense for, what do you call it? It makes no sense for Kale to say something like that to Kaba if Kale was the one that felt like she was a burden to Caulifla. You know, like I said before, we are going to get official translations relatively soon, and there's a scene where you have the God of Destruction for one of the universes, I can't remember which one specifically, and then there's this guy that is a bit worried about Goku reviving a specific character, and apparently he's obviously, you know, this strong guy, and he tells the God of Destruction that his name is Frieza. And if you've seen the spoilers, again, spoilers just for like the next 15 seconds or so, apparently the God of Destructions are trying to take out Frieza before the tournament actually starts. So this is going to be very interesting. Apparently they are trying to assassinate Frieza before he can even come back, but the guy's already dead, so I don't exactly know what's going to happen, but it will be interesting to see. It will be kind of annoying if they bring back Frieza for nothing, but I don't doubt it's going to go down that way. So obviously Goku arrives in Hell, and Frieza just, you know, they have a conversation where Frieza's just like, "What are you doing here? Hell looks pretty nice," Goku says. Goku tells Frieza he wants to bring him back, and Frieza basically just says, "What for?" And then it cuts back to Caulifla and obviously Kale and Kaba, and basically Caulifla is impressed at Kale's power, but she plays a bit rough, so this is where she is very Broly-esque, and like just so many Broly attacks and stuff like that. But again, like I said before, they are literally trying to turn Kale into a better Broly, and I appreciate that. Like, the way that I see it is just pretend that Broly never existed and just enjoy this new character they are putting out for us. Obviously, the reason why they are doing this is because Broly is a pretty popular character, but just look at it from my perspective. Just pretend that Broly doesn't exist at all, and just see how it goes from there. Okay, moving on to, and the rest, of course, Kabe tries to calm Kale down and return her to normal. Caulifla assures Kale that she's not falling for Kaba, so that definitely suggests to me that it was something that Kaba said that kind of triggered Kale, so she definitely has some sort of crush for Caulifla. I don't know if it's just like a sort of friendship thing where she has like this super strong bond with her, and obviously she doesn't want to let her down, and the fact that Kabe said, "Oh, she's mine," kind of triggered to that point where she transformed. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see, but I'm definitely, like I said before, I'm very curious to see what path they go down with this, and honestly I just hope that she, like Kale, when she's in that transformation, is cooperative. I don't want her to be just like completely brainless like Broly. I want her to have some sort of control over her powers, and I would imagine that because she is Caulifla's underling, that she will be able to, well, Caulifla will be able to control Kale at least, and obviously if no one is hitting on Caulifla, obviously she'll hopefully listen to the others. Not like she needs to listen to anyone, right? But, you know, just keep it under control. And then we have a bit more Goku and Frieza interaction. Goku has filled in Frieza with, you know, the whole tournament thing, and Frieza says, "I refuse" initially. Goku just basically says, "Okay then, see you later," and walks away, and he's just like, "Wait, no, I'm kidding." Frieza has a condition: if they win and the universe isn't destroyed, they have to bring him back for the Dragon Balls, which is pretty predictable. But I think Goku's going to pull a quick one and be like, "Nah, we ain't reviving you if we win." Obviously, Goku can just lie. He doesn't have to go through with it. Through the tournament, winners get the Super Dragon Balls. Frieza says he'll be fine with just the Earth ones, of course. Frieza is disappointed to hear that he can't kill opponents in the tournament. Goku goes back to Earth and tells Barber, and obviously he tells her about the agreement with Yema. Goku tries to give Barber the Omni King button, but she doesn't want it, it's too dangerous. And Quitella, which I believe is the God of Destruction, has a cunning plan to beat Universe 7. So are they going to try to take out all the members before the tournament even starts, or are they just going to assassinate Frieza so that they are at a disadvantage from the start? So obviously this is where we are kind of getting into spoiler territory / preview. But before I do get into my predictions for the for the next episode of Super, I honestly really enjoyed this episode. I like that they are going down a different route with Kale, and I know, again, like I said before, people are a bit against the whole, you know, weird relationship with Caulifla thing, but I find it interesting, for me anyway. I'm curious to see what route they go down with this, and it could go in many different ways. They could just go down the Broly crazy, absolutely no control over her powers, or they could have Caulifla be able to control her in a way or just restrain her, but I doubt they are going to go down that route. Granted, they are trying to make her very similar to Broly, but I think that she is going to be able to have control over her powers, and of course, as long as Caulifla is there, it will be very interesting to see what extent she is able to control Carly when she is in that form. But from what we've seen in this episode, I honestly am pretty confident that they are going to execute this perfectly. And another thing that I almost forgot to mention is that Caulifla went Super Saiyan 2 without any issues. So basically what happened was Carly threw a Broly-esque Ki Blast at Carl, where Carl was in his base form and he wasn't going to move or anything, he was just standing there. Like, that's what happens when you get Ki Blast thrown at you for whatever reason. So yeah, and then Caulifla just goes Super Saiyan 2, knocks it out of the way, and I was like, oh, okay, so she's actually Super Saiyan 2. And I know that this is going to trigger a lot of people because she's like, oh, well, it's like, okay, you have Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, who had to train for like, well, Gohan trained for at least a year, obviously, and then you have the other two who trained for a large amount of time. Oh, completely forgot about Future Trunks. He had to train for, a while as well to unlock that specific form, and then you have Caulifla rather. I'm going to get so confused with names because it's like K and C. But anyway, going back to Caulifla, so she unlocks Super Saiyan 2 instantly, and I would imagine that they will hopefully go over it in the next episode, and maybe Kaba will manage to unlock that form as well. Jesus Christ, so many C's and K's. But yeah, get the point. I'm curious to see if they will explain it in the next episode, but I saw Geekdom mention this as well, and basically it could just be something to do with the evolutions. Maybe they are capable of tanking. Maybe they are capable of tapping into these forms a lot easier, but keep in mind that the Universe 6 Saiyans did evolve differently, obviously, up until the point where they no longer have tails, so it will be interesting to see if that's part of it. Honestly, I think a few people are going to call it lazy writing, but again, it's still a reason, so I'm personally happy with it. I don't think it's too much of a problem. Honestly, we had characters like Goten and Trunks unlock Super Saiyan like it was no problem. Granted, a Super Saiyan 2 is a completely different form that did require a bit of training, but we shall see. But before giving my quick thoughts on the next episode of Dragon Ball Super, obviously going from the preview, I really enjoyed this episode. From the initial images, apparently the art and animation was going to, not the art specifically, but like the background images didn't exactly look too great. But honestly, I thought that the episode looks pretty damn good for the majority of the entire episode. The art was pretty good. The animation was pretty solid as well. Nothing too crazy, obviously. But I would imagine that they are trying to just save. But I would imagine that they are trying to save their best, animators and their budget for the later episodes where the, big fighting actually begins. But in the next episode of Dragon Ball Super, basically, Frieza comes back and his way of warming up for the tournament is deadly. Basically, at the end of the preview, you see like a massive blast. So I would imagine that he's just trying to blow stuff up maybe or something. I don't know. And the title of next week's episode is Resurrection of the Evil Emperor, the Mysterious Awaiting Assassin. So it does seem like they are trying to plan something, which I kind of said earlier. Maybe they are trying to take out Frieza before he can actually participate in the tournament. So he's clearly a feared guy amongst multiple universes, so it will be interesting to see how this plays out. I don't personally think that he is going to get killed, but the way that I think the episode is going to go, so a bit more Carly, Kaba and Caulifla interaction. We are going to have Frieza come back. We are going to have these assassins come to Earth, and we are going to have Frieza training as well. So definitely looking forward to next week, but I would imagine that the week after that is maybe when we start the fighting, maybe 2 weeks max. But yeah, there's an hour left until the tournament, and there's been a bunch of episodes between the last proper fight. But yeah, overall pretty solid episode. I like what they did with Carly, and hopefully in the future they will be able to go a bit more in depth as to how Caulifla can tap into Super Saiyan 2 so easily. Very interesting to see what they do with Frieza as well. Maybe he will turn into a good guy, which I know, again, a lot of people wouldn't like. So hopefully he stays a bad guy, which is something that I want as well personally, because that would just completely ruin his character. But anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video as always, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. If you feel like I should maybe add something or remove something from the specific videos, do let me know in the comment section down below as always. But let me know what you thought about this episode, and yeah, I will see you all in the next one.